Hello chat, how you guys doing? Continuing my playthrough of The Last of Us Remastered. What a week. What a year. Maybe more accurately. Oh man. For some reason, like, The Last of Us Part 2's just the response to it and what I know of it, and I've seen some of the cinematics and spoilers, it really gets me down. Hello, Iron Adam John. And I haven't even played the game. Oh no. It's just anti-human. Come on, Ellie. I guess this is the way to go.
Get back out, find that bridge.
Tell me where to go.
I hate this crap.
Do 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 do. So last time I played, Joel and Ellie, they got separated in this hotel. Joel had to start up a generator in the water. He was like under the hotel, and it was like filled with water in the basement or whatever. And Ellie was waiting somewhere else topside. After I fought past some of the infected, managed to get to the main hotel area, and there some humans. Oh, it's a firefly pendant. Okay. Some of the humans attacked, and Ellie, in an effort to save me, killed one. And I think it's the first time she ever killed a guy. Yes, I'm fairly certain. And so she's kind of disturbed right now. I like how the light doesn't seem to bother her. But she's not talking about it, and Joel is just focused on the mission. So, let's see if I can scrounge up some stuff over here. And climb over that. Hmm.
Might be able to get there with this. All right. Damn, this is hard. How about a hand?
You sure you can trust me with that?
Ellie. Push!
I am.
Push harder!
There, how's that?
Alright.
Let's go.
Before I go up there, I'm gonna explore down here. Drums. Drums in the deep. Do I have a brick? Yeah, I do. Gotta have a brick with you at all times when you play these games. I must be one of the few who really enjoyed the first game, is actually enjoying all the misery in the second game. The first game was a complete story, had no need for a sequel. When you say the misery of the second game, are you talking about the actual content of the game, or are you talking about the sort of like social, I don't know, the fallout, the conversation around the game? See, frankly, Neil Druckmann did what he did with the second game because he felt that the first game was, I think he felt that it was sexist. That's why he kills Joel with such aplomb. And then his self-insert spits on him. Or at least a character that looks like him. I mean, maybe it's not a self-insert and, you know, we're just reading into it too much, but I don't know. The fallout, yeah. Well, I mean, it's a harsh lesson for people to learn, but I don't know if people are going to learn from it, because this is like, how many franchises in are we at this point? How many franchises in are we that have, like, died, or at the very least had all the fun sucked out of them, and still people are like, I just want my Star Wars. I just want my Doctor Who. I just want my Star Trek. I want my D&D. I just want my escapism in this way or that way. And it's like, guys, you can't have it. You can't have it anymore. Like, you better start learning how to play Call of Duty, because I think that that's going to be, you know, I don't know. We're just going to have to wise up. And I'm not sure that that's happening enough. Who the hell does a Hawaiian themed prom with tiki torches? I had no desire to play the sequel from the moment I saw the reveal at E3. I did at first. I did when I think the very first reveal was the one where Ma'am was like strung up, because it was like violent and action packed, but there was like a lot of questions. But when I saw the lesbian kiss, even though the lesbian kiss didn't offend me because I knew that Ellie was gay from the DLC for the first game. But it was more like the tone of everything. I was like, oh, so is this going to be focused on the lesbian thing? Because that makes very little to no sense. And that was where my concerns were. I'm going to craft a couple things, I think. Alright. So we can make... I can't make any more shivs. I don't have a melee weapon. Well, I do have a baseball bat. Could be handy, but I think I definitely should make another one of these. And I can't make that. I can't make any more of those. I can make one of these. Why not? And I think I will go ahead and upgrade my thing. Okay, now I can grab this. And let me see, can I do... No, I need rags. I'm always in need of rags. I got plenty of tape. I had no. Yeah. So the excuse me, the sequel. I was interested, but at the time I thought that Naughty Dog was like basically on a roll, right? Even though I had some issues with parts of Uncharted 4, most of Uncharted 4 was fantastic. See, like, I don't like that, and I'll explain why, but at the end of Uncharted 4, we get, like, an old, retired Nathan Drake, like, middle-aged, and he's married to Elena, and they have a daughter, and, of course, they're setting up the daughter to be the next protagonist in a way, like passing the torch, right? I'll let this cinematic play and then I'll talk more about it.
Oh, shit. Come here, keep your head down. Right now, I'm gonna jump down there and I'm gonna clear us a path.
What about me?
You stay here.
This is so stupid. We'd have more of a fucking chance if you let me help.
I am. You seem to know your way around a gun. You reckon you can handle that?
Well, I sort of shot a rifle before, but it was at rats
Rats.
with BBs.
It's the same basic concept. Lift it up. Right now, you're gonna lean right into that stock, because it is gonna kick a hell of a lot more than any baby rifle.
Okay.
Go and pull the bolt back. Grab it right there. Just tug it. Here you go. And as soon as you fire, you're gonna want to get another round in there quick. Listen to me. If I get into trouble down there, you make every shot count. Yeah.
I got this.
All right.
This is like their first real big trust.
Just so we're clear about back there, it was either him or me.
Is their first big, I guess you could say this is like a test of trust between them. This is what will like bring them closer together when this scene is over.
Right, I would have done. You're all fucking dead. Take a breath. Who's dead? Oh, big lookout guy, some fucking tourist killer. Kill all of them. Shit. You talk to the boss? Yeah. He wants everyone to hold their ground. Watch the gate.
All right, you heard it. Search the area. Do not let anybody through.
So, the thing I was gonna say real quick, before I do this part. So they set up Uncharted to basically like have a female protagonist. The problem with this is that when Uncharted, and I know this is going to seem strange, but when Uncharted starred Nathan Drake as the main character, he was basically like making his own mark in a genre of what you could say like were adventure games, like exploration, puzzle solving, and all that. And the only other character that was of significant popularity, that was of the same or a similar genre to that, was Lara Croft. So, I mean, Tomb Raider is like, more popular than Uncharted, arguably. And the Uncharted games, they took it in a new direction that was, really strong in its own right. So the Uncharted games had their own identity outside of the male main character, but even just in terms of like the gameplay, how the shooting gameplay, the cover system, and the puzzles and the traversal and stuff. Whereas the Tomb Raider, because it was a much older franchise, but still very popular and beloved by the people, and most of the gamers that played Uncharted likely played Tomb Raider if they were old enough to, have been into Tomb Raider at the time. But like, then when Tomb Raider got rebooted, I think it was in 2013, when they brought Tomb Raider back, they actually started taking a lot of stuff from Uncharted. So then the new Tomb Raider games were borrowing a lot of the Uncharted DNA. They were like taking it and applying it to sort of give Tomb Raider an update, which again, I don't have a problem with. I don't think that there's, because like the old like sideways flipping Lara Croft with unlimited ammo, that was cool like in the, you know, back in the PlayStation 1 generation and maybe even the PS2 generation, because we were, the whole thing about 3D graphics was still pretty new, and you know, we were figuring out what you could do with it and everything. But Naughty Dog took that genre and expanded on it, and then, you know, Nathan Drake was the face of that. And then who is it? Is it Square Enix? They do the Tomb Raider games. Because they used to be Eidos or Eidos back in the day. I don't know if it's still them, but it doesn't matter. Crystal Dynamics, I remember them too. Psygnosis, but they, you know, they borrowed from Uncharted to make the new Tomb Raider games, and then we had the Uncharted and the Tomb Raider games for a short period of time. They were essentially like coexisting, and they had similar elements. Although Tomb Raider was doing its own thing in its own way, you know, with the climbing axe and you know, some of the way that it did things. It was a bit, I wouldn't say open world, but it was kind of Metroidvania-ish, whereas Uncharted games are more linear and they're telling a story. But then, like, when the Uncharted franchise ends and you basically land in a situation where you're next, if you're going to continue the franchise, you have to have a female protagonist, because you've officially retired Nathan Drake, made him really old, and gave him a daughter, which originally it was going to be a son. It was originally going to be a son, but Druckmann pushed for a daughter because, you know, female representation. They literally erased the one thing that I think Uncharted has as a central identity, at least. And again, I say that understanding that the gender of the protagonist shouldn't matter, but it does to people like Druckmann. So he basically made it to where Uncharted can't continue without becoming something that has to live in the shadow of Tomb Raider as a franchise. Whereas before, at the very least, even though Tomb Raider is older and it has more legacy and it's available to more people because the Uncharted games were, you know, exclusives to PlayStation, they at least had their own identities separately. And to further drive that home, by the way, Uncharted The Lost Legacy, which is a game I didn't buy or play because I could tell that one had, you know, Druckmann written all over it, was a spin-off game that starred two female characters, Nadine, which nobody liked from Uncharted 4, and the ex-girlfriend of Nathan Drake, whose name I can't remember, who's literally a British woman, a British white woman with a ponytail that raids tombs. Like they don't even try. I mean, she's sort of unique in her own way, like she's a thief or whatever, but the thing is that there's just too much unoriginality already as it is. And so, like, for them to go back on that, it's kind of sad. So Druckmann didn't just kill The Last of Us. He kind of killed Uncharted as well, because they can't really go anywhere with it. And the last Uncharted game, you know, while it was a solid entry from the reviews I've read, it doesn't really continue the Nathan Drake story, and the characters matter. The characters matter. So, Zenman, for what I saw, the character name is Druckmann, but I wasn't paying much attention and might have been a fake. She would fire that rifle once and never fire it again. That casing looked like it was fiery, probably a .30-06, and that kicks like a mule. Yeah, but it's a video game. I'm okay with that. I get what you're saying. Like, this is more about, maybe the gun should have been smaller if we want to be more realistic. I don't like the idea of people getting bogged down in realism in video games, personally. That's kind of what Druckmann and these woke game developers use as an excuse for their dark, nihilistic, anti-human storylines. Is they're like, oh yeah, we're being realistic. No, you're your reality, the way that you see the world, is just not the real world. You're just so fucking cynical, and your cynicism bleeds out in all of your products. You don't actually understand humans. This is the reason why The Last of Us Part 2 was nothing but people being assholes to each other for 24 hours, whereas The Last of Us Part 1 had some humanity and some, like, light in the darkness. Because Amy Hennig is, you know, more, I don't know, she seems more plugged into human nature. That's why she's really good at writing characters. Anyway, let's continue. So that guy. Good thing these guys don't have much of a fucking sight cone. I would like more female main characters, but I cannot trust the motivations of the creators in any companies, and I'm suspicious anytime I see a female protagonist. But there's a lot of female characters in video games. Do you think that there's a shortage? Do you think that there's too few? And, like, how many is too few and how many is too many? I'm curious, not because I like, personally, I don't think that we need, and I put that in quotes, any number of any kind of representation. Like, if all video games is you playing as, like, colored blocks, or, like, robots, or, you know, indistinguishably gender non-specific aliens, I wouldn't care as long as the games were good. So, like, I think that since video games have come out, there have been a shit ton of female characters in video games. And to be fair, there have always been female characters in video games. And I know that you know that, but I don't see why... and the thing is, too, is until, like, the people who develop games at least become a bit purple-pilled, at least... the female characters in video games are not going to be well written by these woke assholes. Like, Japan writes better female characters because, I'm not saying they're red-pilled there, but at the very least they recognize that, like, females in a product does not mean that, you know what, I'm going to switch to the bow and arrow here. So I think that's what we need. Boom, 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 boom. Another thing is, oh, I'm gonna wait on that guy. when he stops. Make sure nobody's close by. Sorry if this has already been asked, and don't feel pressured by the question. Are you going to do a fun little commentary stream with Mike about The Last of Us 2? Well, yeah, I want to. The problem is figuring out when. I feel like it's going to be an obstacle because, you know, Allison has her own plans for things that she wants to do, and I'm not trying to, like, considering that I have so many other projects that I'm working on, I don't want to get bogged down in, being overworked, but not, like, getting any pay. And I know it sounds kind of mercenary, but the fact is, like, you know, I'm trying to, like, save money so that Lindsay and I can leave this city and go to, like, a nice, like, smaller city in another part of the country, because I'm afraid of... Uh-oh. Was that Nolan North? Did he do, like, voices in this game? They're gonna search for me. Let me get my brick ready. Hey, Xeranx. Anyway, like I said, I'd like to do that. It just comes down to, you know, if I have time.
Keep doing that.
Right there!
Hold on, hold on. Whew. All right.
All right, come on down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so anyway, if you haven't played this game and you get an opportunity to, I do think it's worth it. I will say, and I've said this already, like, gameplay-wise, it's
How'd I do?
not particularly revolutionary. I wouldn't have, like, really high expectations. It is quite pretty for a game of its generation, but it's a really good story. It's a solid experience, so...
For emergencies only.
See, like, their trust is building. A lot of people have compared this game,
Zone, you know how to switch it off.
I do.
or
You gotta respect it. This is not.
Oh, be careful.
Okay.
respect it. I'm just gonna look around, make sure I didn't miss anything. Anyway, what I was saying is the movie Logan. There's a lot of parallels to the first Last of Us. If you like the movie Logan, my wife really likes the Wolverine character. She hated Logan. She hated it so much, and I can understand why, because she's basically like, they replaced the character with like a female, right? So I can understand that. I didn't hate the movie Logan. I do feel as though it was, let's say, how do I put it? Like, it could have been better executed. I know what they were going for, but I think it could have been better executed. And sometimes I thought there was just like, you know, we're going to have them cuss because cussing is adult. And so they were just cussing a lot. And I was kind of like, you know, I felt like my body just sort of fold in on itself from cringe. I don't want to go this way just yet. Do. Oh yeah, there we go. An arrow too? Hell fucking yeah. But again, I know that that's like not liking Logan is an extremely unpopular opinion. I personally never liked the X-23 character. It's just like Miles Morales. It's just corny, lazy, diversity hires. It's just not very, it's just really derivative, you know? That's just my opinion. I like, when I come up with characters, I like to come up with like completely unique characters. Not like, oh, let's do Wolverine, but, you know, or let's do Spider-Man, but let's not. Let's try something new. You know, at one point, remember, at one point, the concept of the Terminator did not exist. The concept of RoboCop did not exist. The concept of the Xenomorphs did not exist. Someone came up with that idea. The concept of the Predator, the concept of Wolverine, of Spider-Man, of, you know, of Batman. I mean, they were to some degree, in a lot of cases, inspired by something. Like Batman was inspired by the Shadow. But when you know, Bob Kane took the idea, he took it he said, okay, I'm going to take this, but I'm going to take it in a new direction. And that's what he did. And that's something that people just don't seem to know how to do anymore. So, to a degree, this bat is, let's grab that because the other one's broken. Almost broken. To a degree, I get it. You know, I get that why Lindsay doesn't like X-23. Oh, you just hanging around in here? Okay. And I don't think it's asking too much to basically be like, there you go, that's good. To have like some more higher standards for characters. I mean, like, again, we could argue that Joel is inspired by Viggo Mortensen's character in The Road, I suppose. But like they are doing something different with it. Ooh. All right. Yeah, Ellie, hang on. See what you guys are saying. How did Supergirl avoid the issues Miles Morales and X-23 are now bogged down with? Well, I don't think she does. I think Supergirl is pretty derivative too. I think that this has been going on for a while. Yeah, I know. I'm just looking. Rats. No, I don't think that she does. Look. When this is a problem, but it's for different reasons. So back when DC Comics had first come up with Superman, they were you know, they saw that Superman was really popular, and this Batman had the same problem, and the Flash had the same problem, and Wonder Woman has the same problem. They were like, this is popular, we should do more of this. And so they did Supergirl, Superboy, Crypto, Bizarro. The Ultraman, they just rained down Superman ripoffs, right? Batman had the same problem. You know, Robin was fine, but then like there was Batgirl, Batwoman, Batmite, Batzarro, you know, Azrael, just like they don't. DC Comics has a problem with this. They
The chain is stuck.
Jeez.
There.
Good thinking.
So, like, this isn't just for diversity points. Like, the first time they did it, they just thought, this is a good idea. We want to essentially milk it for all it's worth, okay? So we'll do that. And they did it with just about everything. Captain Marvel, which is Shazam, because there was, like, Marvel Boy, Ms. Marvel, you know, it was just, they just milk it, you know? Yeah, I'm going to. I just thinking, like, I think I have to, like, take this out.
Help me open this.
Here.
Got it.
Oh my god, these laundry cart controls. Okay. Wait, what? I'm not supposed to be able to climb that? Yeah. Workbench.
Let's do this.
So like, back then they were doing it for those reasons. They just thought, you know, oh, this is a successful idea. We should, you know, keep doing this, and they didn't really worry about like whether or not people would find it to be derivative. I mean, when you didn't know whether or not like a comic book idea was going to be like, you know, a damn near, what is a 75-year legacy. I could see why people would just jump on the bandwagon and do that, and so they did with everything they could because it was popular. These days they do it, but they do it for diversity points, or they do it because they want to, you know, be seen as progressive. But it's still the same ideas. They're not better. I never liked the idea of like, you know, like the I don't know how many different variations on the Flash there were. You know, I just don't. I mean, hold on. I gotta get the door. Hold on. I'll be right back, guys. I'm sorry. Quiet, Jojo. All right, can you guys hear me? Sorry, I had to step away. Fucking Jehovah Witnesses. Anyway, let me see what you guys are saying. As stories have become a more major part of games, I think too many female protagonists are just being inserted into a masculine story. I agree. I mean, somewhat. Like, they are still video games, so I see them as more of escapism. There is a challenge because a lot of the people who develop games, they don't believe in the difference between a masculine and a feminine story, right? Because they're usually gender abolitionists. Like they don't like the idea that gender is real. Actually, you know what? I meant to spend my skill points. That's not done here, though. It's done here. For some fucking reason, I have to just go to the floor. Alright, I don't have enough to do that. But maybe I'll craft something? Another first aid kit, for sure. And one of these. Alright. So... 15. That's not really enough to do anything with. Alright. Yeah, so because like I
Busy couple of days, huh? Whatever, man. Damn, no food, old pair of shoes. We got nothing. Let's go.
I'm not sure that these guys would actually kill the woman, but... And they didn't even check the dude. That's kind of weird.
Man,
All right, so, but like if somebody were to, and there probably are some examples. I don't want to like assume there aren't. There are some games I heard about that I never played. I think there was this one called Celeste. It's like a platformer. It's supposed to be really hard, but it's supposed to be about like I don't know mental illness or something. But it has a female main character in it, and I mean, it's probably trying to make a woke statement because of... Hold on. Wait, what the fuck? Ooh. Pipe. You know what that means? I'm gonna upgrade my pipe. Anyway, yeah, like, because the thing is that most of these games, they sort of like they follow the hero's journey, which is a masculine archetype story, and I'm still like okay with some games where, let's say that there are women that are a bit masculinized, like Bayonetta or something, where they have so much like they're given power through some means that are not normal, right? Like I'm a witch, or something. But I'm not averse to that, but I would like to see what a story that like followed the feminine hero's journey, for lack of a better word, the feminine arc. I wonder what that might look like. I think that could be pretty interesting. But work journos or woke games developers, they won't do that. First off, they don't even ask that question most of the time. They don't even wonder about that. They just assume that all stories are masculine, and that there's no such thing as a feminine hero archetype. There's just a hero archetype. Dawn of the Wolf Part 2. Still a better love story than Twilight. How do you differentiate between an inspiration and being a derivative anyway? When something is derivative, it's sort of like somebody's Sonic OC, right? They're basically literally, it's like they're literally drawing from the same iconography, and they're leaning really hard on that iconography as a means to artificially inflate the popularity of the idea. So Spider-Man Miles Morales Spider-Man is a really good example of that. The reason is that because they're using the Spider-Man name to boost the character, right? So, and then he's not only got the Spider-Man name, and by the way, I just want to make sure that people understand, and I hate that I even have to explain this, but like Spider-Man has gotten really derivative over the years as well. Not the Spider-Man character, but there was Spider-Man, then there was not Black Spider-Man, that was just a costume change. There was the Scarlet Spider, which was, I don't know, some other guy, and he had like a clone suit. Spider-Man 2099, Venom, which is, look, I know that people love the Venom character, but you can't, even if there's some versions that work, essentially Venom is like Bizarro for Superman, or Bat-Zaro for Batman, or Reverse Flash for Flash. You know, or I think there's like a Black Adam to Captain Marvel. Like, there are these dark mirror archetypes that reflect the evil version of the hero. You know, Zod in the movies was sort of like the Superman one too, but Bizarro is it's a better example. And Venom was just that for Spider-Man. I like Venom. I think that it could, you know, it's not like a bad. It's still derivative, but it's not derivative in a way that I think is all that harmful. But if you look at how Venom played out, say in Spider-Man 3, you can see that people thought of him as just, oh, it's just evil Peter Parker. And that was what they were looking at. And so that's not really that hard of an idea. Before Venom existed, the Spider-Man Rogues Gallery was fantastic. And look, I don't dislike Venom. I know there are people who grew up in the 90s and they're really into the edgy supervillains, and Venom was like the really popular one. But it's, in terms of creativity, it's not nearly as interesting as other characters in Spider-Man's Rogues Gallery. And so, yeah, that was Scarlet Spider, the Clone Spider-Man 2099. That was Venom. Then, and this is the thing too that I think made it worse. If it was only Venom, I would probably not have that much of a problem with it. But then there was Carnage, which was basically just Venom but more edgy. And then there was like another character. It was like a female. I don't remember her name, but there was another Carnage-like incarnation, another symbiote character, and I was watching that like unfold, and I was like, well, is anyone even trying to come up with new ideas? Like, one of the things that I liked about say the X-Men was, as they like added more X-Men members and they started like adding other mutant factions, like the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, but also like the Morlocks, and there was like another one in the 80s, I can't remember, but they were basically like mutant hunters, but they were mutants themselves. They were making them all really unique and interesting, and I know that the capacity to do that was there, but the will was not. And I think there was people who were leaning on, oh yeah, let's just do, you know, Venom is popular, let's make a Venom but more edgy and people will like him more. And frankly, I like Venom, but I don't like Carnage, and I don't like the I don't remember the female character. But that was like a big thing in, Scarlet Spider is Ben Reilly. Thank you. That was a big thing in like and that's the thing. Oh, and now they got Miles Morales, and they got Spider-Gwen, and they got Silk, and they got, you know, and it's just like, I don't even care if those characters are different from each other in some way. Like, Miles supposedly has like some electric thing, and maybe Silk operates differently. It doesn't matter. They're all boring now. Like back when I was reading comics, there was some of that. There was like the Wasp and Ant-Man and like Yellow Jacket, and there was some of that, and it was kind of annoying. But this is like beyond the pale. Like and so with the diversity thing, they end up becoming there is a push to substitute or replace the legacy characters with these derivative, lazy, substitutes. It was a trap. Did you see that? In the first game, all of the Raider dudes were men. In the second one, it's a mix. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I think on the one hand, it would seem like refreshing to see like female minions, like evil female minions that you kill. But on the other hand, yeah, I see him.
Yeah, I see.
See? I told you I see him. I just gotta, like, think about how I'm gonna approach this. There's a trap there, too. It's, like, lower level. Maybe I can shoot him with an arrow and people won't notice. Maybe I can get into that building across the way. Oh shit. I don't think they heard us, except for that one dude.
Fuck these guys.
They seem to be looking for us, maybe, but... What's this? Oh. It's a board with a nail in it. Anything back here? Of course. I just watched a mob douse Captain Maestros in the... Okay, alright, hold on. I was just reading. I gotta keep brushed up on that. You never know when civilization's gonna come back together. Female mooks in The Last of Us 2 is a bit tone deaf. A community of people would never put their women in that kind of danger. Yeah, that's right. It, like, doesn't make sense logistically. Just like, and I know this is gonna sound really bad, but really, think about this for a second, okay? The thing about Ellie being a lesbian, it also doesn't make sense in the context of the story. And, I mean, her being a lesbian makes sense. Like, of course it can. That can happen. It's unlikely, but it can happen. But beyond that, think about this. Humanity is on the brink of extinction. There is a disease that's basically like, you know, turning people into monsters, essentially, right? I think I'm gonna try and take these guys out from the balcony, in fact, instead of doing this the way I've been doing it. And the one person that's immune is female, young, fertile, and a lesbian. But like, wouldn't you, as a society, even as Ellie, like, wouldn't it be the wisest thing would be for Ellie to like continue the species in some way? Wouldn't that make sense? Because her children are probably going to be immune to the infection, right? Hell, she could, like, if they didn't want to sacrifice Ellie to get a cure, they could have at least had her have kids and sacrifice one of them. I know it seems really, like, dark, but if you think about it, it makes sense. You know what I mean? I played a Plague Tale Innocence not long ago. As far as an escort mission for a game goes, that was really interesting. I heard that was good. But yeah, that was one of the things, like, just where my brain goes. But that was one of the things I was thinking about. Like, so Ellie is the only person immune. She's female. She can reproduce. Her babies would probably also be immune. But we're supposed to care that she's a lesbian. And I almost think, like, how would it really play out? Like, we're talking about the end of humanity, right? Like, what really makes sense here? That's what I'm saying. Hold on.
What? Oh. Comic thing.
Were you carrying anything? When I played this game the first time, I thought you had to get headshots to kill these guys, but you don't really have to. Alright, let's look around. Let me see what you guys are saying. That's a completely pragmatic way of looking at it, Brian, but the writing team didn't think that far ahead. Child sacrifice. Well, if you think about it, like, if we were legitimately living in conditions like this, I think that would be a completely normal response. Like, you gotta take one for the team, Ellie. We need you to, like, make some babies. And she's like, but love is love. You can't, like, force this on me. I want to live out my days with this woman. It's like, no, you don't get to decide the future of humanity. You can, like, have your girlfriend, but you got to make some babies. Like, that's just the reality. Like, that's how it would play out. You know, why do we lie to ourselves about that? Like, there's nothing. It's not immoral. In fact, if Ellie was really a hero, she would do it. She'd say, oh yeah, I got to make some babies. If you think about it, that just makes sense. It's one of the reasons why. That's a pretty clean looking body.
Jeez. Guess this is how it ended for this zone.
Every battle's got a losing side.
What if they have families?
Yeah, but that's not good.
Can you not?
Death for freedom. Let me see. I want to make sure that we've cleared everything. Let's go in here. Oh, I've been this way, haven't I? Yeah, okay. I think we're good. It was 10 years, come on. Are people in this setting fertile? One thing I did not buy about the Zombieland sequel is how, by the trailers, a party of 2 males and 2 females didn't seem to reproduce. Yeah, well, that's another... Again, that's... And there's got to be some cognitive dissonance there. Like, there's got to be a point where people were like, okay... End of the world scenario, 2 men, 2 women on the road. How are they not fucking? Even if they don't like each other. Even if they don't like each other, but they're doing it just for the survival of the species. Now, of course, there's another thing to consider here. I think that you could only really start considering reproduction if you were safe enough to do so, because bringing a baby into the world is going to make you really vulnerable if the world isn't safe, or at the very least you don't have a plan to try to keep the world safe. So there is that too to consider. So like in The Last of Us, there are zones that are basically protected by the military. Sure. There are zones that are protected by the military, what's left of the government, essentially, and they're relatively safe, and they give people food rations, and, you know, they keep them alive. So in that environment, and by the beginning of the second game, there's also another town that has that as well. Well, it's pretty clear that you can raise a child. In Zombieland, I'm not really sure. There's the bridge. Are we gonna fight a boss now? I haven't played this in a while, but So it kind of depends.
Hey, the police and Chris. Back in the Boston QZ.
Military preparatory school.
Yeah, nice way of saying orphanage. I wonder what happened to all these kids.
This place has been out for a good stretch. They ain't kids no more.
Meaning they're either hunters trying to kill us, or they're dead.
Or they got away.
We don't believe that.
I believe in getting out of this city. Come on.
But Joel, I want to speculate. Joel is my spirit animal. When everyone loved Joel, that's the thing that that you saw the reactions to him being killed in the second game. Oh shit.
It's alright, just keep your head down.
Everyone loves the Joel character, and I think it's because he's so pragmatic. Matthias Nordblad says, Walking Dead did the reproduction problem pretty well. I know that What's-Her-Name had a baby, but I didn't watch past season, like, 5 or 6. It was, like, after the arc with the general, I think, or the mayor, or whatever the fuck. Governor? The governor, sorry. I was, like, trying to remember what he was called. After that arc was over, I stopped watching, because I didn't have Netflix anymore. And I was kind of losing interest in the story. I know that it basically made, like, everybody just died. Like, there was, like, nobody left from the original cast. But let me see if there's anything over here. No. But, yeah, how did they handle the reproduction problem? And, yeah, I do think that in The Last of Us, people are still fertile. I don't see any reason not to think that. Sorry, my dude. One of the things that they don't do in here, and again, this is one of the reasons why I think the mechanics are the mechanics are am I gonna get that guy? Yeah, I'm gonna get this guy. The stealth mechanics are passable, but they're not as good as like other games. Like I think Metal Gear Solid has done better because they've allowed things like hiding the bodies, you know. And they're even then like these like in most of these stealth games, the enemies have this like 2-year-old, not even like 1-year-old object permanence problem. Okay, so how do we sneak past the truck? That's the question. Wait, did I get spotted? You mother... Trying to think what I can do. Oh, I see the turret. Yeah. You gotta slip past it. Let me see what you guys are saying. You get spotted automatically in this section. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. Even people who don't particularly care for each other would be fucking. Hormones would kick in eventually, consensual or not. The treatment of Joel in The Last of Us 2 is probably the main reason people are pissed. The Druckmann insert spitting on his corpse for one thing. Yeah, I wanna make a statement about that really quick. So, let's think about this for a second. Do you think it's a coincidence that I'm gonna wait. Do you think that it's a coincidence that alright. Is it a coincidence that Druckmann, his self-insert character, spat on Joel, the main character from the first game, okay, as right after his Abby character killed Joel? Let's be real, like, Abby was created by Druckmann as well, most likely. And he did that while Ellie was watching. So we watched the destruction of a family unit of sorts, symbolically, right? By killing the father while the daughter looks on, and having someone who didn't have a father, because Abby lost her father, and apparently is, I don't know if Abby is trans, but she looks trans, so I don't know what the deal is with that. But they have her kill Joel in front of Ellie, destroying their family unit, which then drives Ellie crazy, and she goes on a murder spree. And they do it with spite. And they do it right at the beginning of the game. And they have Neil Druckmann spit on it. And they do all of that with a game that releases on Father's Day weekend. What does that mean? You know? Alright, I'm gonna look at your comments. But yeah, most people liked the Joel character. And it's ironic because maybe I can use this brick to like distract it. Where am I supposed to go? Well, this police car is fucking bulletproof. Weird. That guy didn't see me. I gotta go this way, don't I? Are you guys talking? For some reason I can't see the comments. I gotta refresh my shit. Hold on. Ellie, what the fuck? You're a ghost. Oh, here we go. I remember this part because it's where you meet Henry. Oh yeah, the black dude. And his brother, right? Progressivism ruins everything. Yeah, if you love the first game, we hate you, and we're gonna spit in your face, and if you criticize us, we'll call you sexist. Sounds like The Last Jedi. Didn't see any comment about contrived... You didn't see my comment about contrived stories. I think our current social mores offer heavy influence into storytelling. Probably what I think some have meant regarding stories being contrived a lot. Yeah, I do. I agree. Like, when I think that people are coming at this from a position of, like, well, I don't want to say privilege, but, like, when you live in such comfort, it can be like, you know, what might be seen as pragmatic can be mistaken for cruelty. I think that's one of the reasons why so many not just progressives but conservatives are kind of like, they're divorced from reality when it comes to third world countries, and like why things are rough there and the things that they do. Now, I'm not going to argue that that's not in part something they brought on themselves, but I think that it is like kind of a, you know, it's a complicated thing to talk about. I think I'm supposed to go this way, but I'm like, how do I can't remember. Help. I just saw that. I never saw that before. All right, give me a second here. And I think that if you really want to like tell stories, I don't know, I guess in my opinion, you gotta like go, that's like the whole like Heart of Darkness thing, like you gotta like be willing to explore these ideas as they really would pan out, not like in this, that's what I mean when I say these people don't really understand realism and storytelling, you know? There's nowhere to go here. I'm gonna wait for the hint, because I don't know where I'm supposed to go. I haven't played this in so long, I forgot. Anyway. First world problems. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So, but like, what do you guys think about that Father's Day thing? Do you think that that's the reason why this game came out on Father's Day? Do you think that Neil Druckmann is basically trying to like shit on fatherhood in general? Which is antithetical to the first game's story, which is that fathers, well, I wouldn't say fathers matter per se, but like, it's basically about two people who are looking to connect in a world that has completely gone to shit, and they're doing so, like, they're doing so in a way that is, like, they're falling in line with a father and daughter relationship in a way, right? So, the first game is about Joel finding something to live for. The second ruins the legacy of the first. I should probably turn off my camera. I don't want to restart the encounter. I'm trying to think what I should do though.
Hurry.
Hurry what? Nothing's happening. I'd hate to do all this and die. Keep looking in the direction of the building with the guy who didn't see you. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look in there. Oop. I'll wait until this. I can't go this way, can I? Maybe this way. Okay, I see. Whoa, nigga. Hmm. Oh yeah. Wow, Ellie is just like bulletproof. Oh, of course, of course. I'm just gonna check over here for items. Nothing. Thanks, Shaman King. I forgot. It's like a winding section. Alright, we'll go out this window. Probably have to deal with it again, right? Yep. So it's like right there. There we go. Can I just go here? Was there something out there? Could I have gone back? I can't go back now. Let me see. I have 20. I can make another one of these. I can make another one of these. I'll make one of these. That's Alright, here we go.
Leave him alone. Easy, son. Just take it easy.
Joel's about
It's
to
all right.
beat the shit out of
Not the
him.
bad guys. Lower the gun. Man, you hit hard. Yeah, well, I was trying to kill you.
Yeah, I thought you were one of them too. Then I saw you. If you haven't noticed, they don't keep kids around. Survival of the fittest.
You're bleeding.
Ah, it's just nothing. I'm Henry.
You know, well,
Sam.
it would have been really dark, but you know what I would have took as a pretty good sequel to The Last of Us is if it was The Last of Us with these two characters, Henry and Sam, and you basically play up to this point where you meet with Joel and Ellie.
City, look for supplies. Those fuckers, they ambushed us, scattered us. Now it's all about getting out of this shithole.
We can help each other.
I mean, do you think that would have been all right?
She's right. Could help each other. We got a hideout not too far from here. Be safer if we chat there.
All right, take us there.
Follow me.
Sorry about the whole...
That would have made at least good DLC. Yeah, that would have been good.
Where are you from?
All the way from Hartford.
Really? There's some bad stuff going on.
Hold on, I'm gonna take everything that's in here and grab all this shit. Give me this shit. Fucking precious rags. Oh my god. I knew someone who had one of those. My friend's mother. Do they have a PlayStation? There was like one of these where they have like a PS1 or a PS2 or something. I don't remember which one it was. Hold on, motherfuckers. Don't rush me. All right, let's go.
You gotta be careful. We're right next to one of the lookout areas. It's just you and your dog.
I promised someone I'd
Yeah. I can appreciate that.
There you go.
Sweet.
Oh my god, I remember these TVs. I never owned one, but this is, you couldn't see shit. Like, if you didn't look at it just like this, you couldn't see shit. If you were, like, right here, you couldn't see anything. Holy shit, look at this fucking beast. We thought this shit was the bomb. I wanted one because I wanted a big screen. I remember in the arcades you could like play like fighting games on like these giant on those screens. Okay. Damn, that was a good haul. Holy shit. The Last of Us 2 should have been different characters in a different location. Yeah, I agree with that. Sun rays for the sun god. I don't know if using those two up until this point would have been a good, since you know how it will end. Well, it would still make for good DLC, I think. But yeah, I take what you're saying. Well, actually, you know what? Okay, maybe now I can grab it. Yep. And just loading up on everything. Okay, that's good. That's good. I'm gonna swap this out for the shotgun. Alright. Okay, let's go. The point is that these are decent characters that probably could have had like some exploration, or you know, just all original characters, which I'm more than fine with.
Wait, everyone be quiet. Get away from the windows. Man, that fucking truck. It's been hounding us ever since we got in this damn... Sam, what are you doing?
Nothing.
Get rid of it.
My backpack is practically empty.
What's the rule about taking stuff?
It weighs like nothing.
The rule. What is it?
We only take what we have to.
Right. Now, come on.
Stealing is okay as long as it's something we need.
How far is this place?
Close. Real close.
Hmm. Choo Choo Toys. It's a terrible name for a toy store.
Ellie, you watch her back.
Of course.
Who are the others?
We wanted to give it another once over.
All right. Keep an eye out over there. Check this out.
I'm heading.
Well, this ain't good.
Like this asshole!
We did it. Not bad, old timer.
Old timer. Why I oughta. Give me this.
Come on. Up on this truck.
Who the hell says old timer? Who says that? Nobody says that. Yeah, let's do that. And one of these. That's good. No, don't. Put that away. Alright. Where did these guys go? Was it over here? Oh, shit.
What the hell was that? It's out there. You hear that? Yeah. Fuck me.
You fuck. I'm all out of bullets, god damn it. I got my other gun though.
Through this door.
You sure it's safe being so close to them?
I'm the only one with the key, man.
And where'd you get that?
I killed one of them. He won't miss it now. Everybody through.
What? That's like a dumb statement. Hold on, man. I'm trying to get shit. Everybody's telling me where to go.
All right.
I think that Ellie being like a lesbian, I think that they added that later after the game came out. But I can't know for sure. I think that was like a post, like, ooh, wouldn't it be fucking cool if... Wouldn't it be woke if we made her gay? Alright, I'm coming in here. Where is this? Oh, it's like a architectural firm? They got a bar and shit. It's like a break room, maybe. A break area. Send hope. Yeah, I'm sure that this all started off when with like thoughts and prayers. We send thoughts and prayers.
Here we are.
Come on, kids. I'm gonna go in here. A boardroom meeting. Trial note. Sure, let's see. We had a public trial after a bunch of teenagers from our group killed the family. Started walking away. 2 members of the group started yelling. Okay, whatever.
Welcome to my office.
How long have you guys been holed up in here?
A few days. We found a bit of food, though. Here.
Blueberries. Found a whole stash of them. You want some?
No.
Hey man, relax. We're safe.
So why haven't you left?
Been waiting for the right opportunity.
And?
Here. Check this out.
Guy looks like Donald Glover. This is America.
These sons of bitches. Every day they congregate down there, guarding that damn bridge. Come nighttime, it's down to a skeleton crew. After sunset, that's our window. Most of them gone, sneak right past them.
That could work.
Oh, it'll work. It'll definitely work. Wow.
All right, ready?
Ow!
A blueberry hurt you?
It's been a while since that boy even cracked a smile. She doesn't seem bothered by all this.
Bothered by all this.
Where the Fireflies are based out west somewhere. We're gonna join up with them. Something funny?
Oh, it just seems like there's a lot of people putting their stock on the Fireflies these days.
Yeah, maybe there's a reason for that.
So you don't know where they are, and you're just gonna drag him across the country to find them?
I tell you what, how about I worry about my brother, you worry about your girl.
Easy. We're looking for the Fireflies, too.
This is us. There's an abandoned military radio station just outside the city. Any survivors from our group, they're supposed to meet us there tomorrow. You and your girl, you want to join us? It goes down tonight.
I guess we best rest up then.
I'm gonna wrap up at the here in a second. I think something happens in the middle of the night. They get attacked by clickers or some shit. But I don't know.
He says it's time to go.
Yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up here. We'll pick up next time. I gotta do some house cleaning and.
Like glue. Got it. Good. Good. All right. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, y'all stay close, okay?
You can equip a new weapon by holding square over a weapon slot, or what? Oh, I know what he's talking about. Okay. I'm all out of bullets. I'm gonna stop here. This is a good point to stop because they're about to like do some shit. These are all really great characters. What the fuck happened? What happened with this game? I can tell you what, the people who wrote the sequel don't like humans. They think really low of us. It's crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna look at your comments and then we're gonna wrap it up here. This game still is a lot of fun to play, even if it's kind of like, you know, even if the actual gameplay mechanics are just adequate. So, alright. Iron Adam John, I don't know if using these two up until this point would have been good since you know how it ends. Yep, DLC would have been awesome. Great indoors. Getting rid of those beastly TVs might have been an absolute chore. Yeah, they looked really heavy. I never owned one, so... Only old-timers say old-timers. Yeah, exactly. Especially not like, I'm sorry, but like... Sometimes I think the dialogue written for black people in video games and movies and TV shows is really cringe. Like, as somebody who grew up in the hood, and I'm talking about like hood black people, right? Like people who grew up in urban areas, okay? Sometimes the way they write them, like their dialogue, I'm like, I've never heard a brother say that, ever. Like, that just seems really unusual. And I wonder if... Because it's like if a Latino was written... So I'm not making this just a black thing, but it's like if a Latino was written and he said something extremely anachronistic, like that would not make sense for the time period or the location, and that was sort of like a normal thing for him, like the way that he carried himself. And I would be like, that's really strange. It would be fine if that was a one-off, but that seems to be like something I see a lot. It's just really weird. Don't the enemies have bullets on them? No, they don't, actually, a lot of the time. Rarely are they carrying ammo, and I don't know why that is. I mean, I guess it's because they don't want... Like, they want you to basically be in a perpetual state of, like, running out of ammunition, so that you're only using it when you absolutely have to, and it's not just played like a third-person shooter. So, you know, as a survival horror usually means that you're always low on ammo, and you have to, like, manage your resources really well. So, it doesn't make sense because the enemies often have unlimited ammo. And I think that one of the ways that they could have improved the sequel mechanically is to actually give the enemies limited amounts of ammunition, like, into their AI, so they can only fire so many shots. And that means it affects, like, how often they do it. Like, they only do it if they really know it's gonna count. And, you know, they also carry melee weapons. And whatever it is they don't use, so let's say you give an AI enemy 3 bullets in his pistol, and that's all he's got is 3 bullets. Well, he can shoot 3 times, but if he does, it does a lot of damage because it's a bullet. So these are potentially fatal encounters. If you kill him without, like, him noticing or getting a chance to fire off a shot, then you get all 3 bullets. But if he fires one, then, like, whatever, you know, then you only get 2 bullets and so on. I think that would have been a better way to do it for the sequel. I think that for this game, it might have been a little bit too much of a next gen thing. I don't know. See, like, to my knowledge, yeah, that's what I would do. So I remember how that video clip got hyped by the entirety of Western media for about 5 days. It was very important. Then everybody forgot about it again because the media got quiet about it. Anita happened. Yeah. John says, it's funny how the last shot fired by the enemy is always the last shot he had. Yes. Dynamic and AI and tracking like that might be too hard to do. I don't think it could be for like next generation consoles though. I don't think it would, because like to a degree, the Souls games do that to a degree, where they give some like NPCs that you fight against or NPCs that you bring into your game to help you, they may have like limited some things that have like a limited number of uses. So, for example, in Bloodborne, there's an NPCs you can bring in. I think there's this one for this one boss fight. And you can bring him into your game to help you. And he has 5 blood vials. He only has 5 blood vials. So you have to manage, like, after he's taken a blood vial 5 times to heal himself, he won't do it anymore. And he'll just, like, die. So if he's killed again. So they recommend, if you want him to help, that you bring the choir bell, which is basically an item that you can use to heal yourself and allies that are close by. And basically keep him alive with that. So there is, and I mean, I know that's a really limited example, but there is a way to do it. And I think that in next generation consoles, the real leap forward, and this is not just with consoles, but we could also apply this to PC gaming, like the next generation of software, assuming that the video game industry doesn't crash, the focus should not be on frame rate and graphics fidelity and environments, like how pretty everything is. I mean, like, games are pretty already. And sure, we can make leaps in that direction. But I think that, and I've been saying this since like the PS4 and Xbox One was like launching, I think that what we should be using the resources for going forward should be more on things like artificial intelligence, dynamic item management, things like that, of that nature. Maybe more interactivity with the world. Like, if a world setting didn't look as interesting, let's say like a cityscape. Let's say if a cityscape didn't look as pretty graphically, but you could enter most buildings and explore them, that would make for a far more rewarding game experience. So, and I'm using an extreme example, but I think that's what it should be going forward, personally. So, but yes, you're right. It might be hard to do now, but I think that we can do it, and that's what I would have tried to do. But I don't know. Maybe The Last of Us 2 did do that. I don't know, because the story sucks so hard, and nobody really talks about much else. So, all right. Anyway, I'm gonna quit out to the main menu, and I'm gonna wrap it up here because I got other shit I gotta do. So thanks, guys, for hanging out, and I'll talk to you later. Have a good Father's Day if I don't see you before then.